Hello, friend.
Alright, so I'm going to do a quick Tormented run for Duriel. I'll show you guys my loadout. Check the description. I do have my planner of my exact current build. So, only thing I'm going to do for this fight, no holy bolts or anything like that. Just going to get the anti-venom. And I want to get some attack speed. So those are the only two elixirs that I'm going to run. And let's see where we're at. Damage is looking pretty good. I've already gotten hit by 2 of his stats because I'm not paying attention really. Make it 3. It's not good. So in case you guys don't know, every boss for the Tormented version has an attack that gives you one of the stacks, the encroaching death stacks. Right now I'm at 3. His is when he when he bursts the stuff out of his belly. That poison that just exploded on the ground got me another stack. Normally, as long as you're under 6, you're okay. I almost died right there. Definitely almost died right there because I was already at like 5. Let's see, do we get anything good? Probably not. Nope. Godslayer, Soulbrand, 2 Tibalt's Will. Oh, just 1. 2 Banished Lords. Yeah, so anyway, what I'm running right now, again, in the description, I'll have a link to my exact build that I'm currently using. Finally got my Harlequin Crest fully masterworked. I'm running Hectic on my chest piece with Tough as Nails, so I can get that part of my skill tree without having to spend a point in Outburst. The resistance to all elements I had to roll because I was struggling to get the 70% resistances on all of it, so that really helped. Running Pain Gorgers here. Still could get a better one. That's why I stopped masterworking it at 8, because I'm looking for one that has a higher crit chance. And obviously I'm also looking for one that has 200% increased damage on the aspect. Undying here, so that way constantly swinging our basic attack, keep getting healed. Ranks to Bash also, I was fortunate enough to get one that had a greater affix. If you guys can get one, it just increases your damage output with Bash. I'm still running Yen's Blessing. Gives me a free shout, and sometimes it gives me a free Steel Grasp. Sometimes, you know, I just go into a mob in the pit, swing on an enemy, and they'll get pulled in because it's any skill that's on a cooldown. Non-mobility, non-ultimate, which everything on my toolbar, besides Call of the Ancients and Bash, fall into that category. So here I'm running Moonrise. Bash Cleaves is important for all your weapons if you want Bash to do the maximum amount of damage. I could get better affixes on the top part. Like the life on hit is good, but I'd much rather have, like, you know, crit damage. And then here I'm running elements. So every 7 seconds I'm getting the 30% increased damage. Mainly I run this because of the bosses, because all those fights last longer than 7 seconds. I mean, they last in Pit 105, last pretty long, maybe like a minute or 2. So that comes up, pretty frequently. Intercom here, even if you're not standing still for 3 seconds, you're still getting the 10x multiplier. So, it's still an output or an increase in your damage output always. And some of the bosses you will be standing still for, more than 3 seconds. So when that kicks in, it's even better. Running Edge Masters here. I was running Rapid here, and then I switched it. With the Elixir and with Moonrise, I pretty much can get to the 100% attack speed. So adaptability here, I'm still looking for a better roll. 72% still the highest that I found for adaptability. Paired with a greater affix to attack speed, it's pretty nice. The damage to crowd controlled, I'd really like to have damage to close, but unfortunately I ran out of tempers, as you can see, 0.05. I really like this ring. I just wish that my first two masterworks thresholds, level 4 and level 8, would have hit my greater affixes, but they didn't. It hit everything around it. But still, to get the crit strike chance and crit strike damage, greater affixed was pretty huge. And then I'm still running my Melted Heart of Selig. Gonna get this masterwork to 12. This just helps me with survivability, since I'm using a non-resource spender build and I'm constantly getting resource back. It helps not take as much health away from me because I'm always at full resource. Running the two-handed axe expertise. Go over my skill tree real quick. All this is in my planner. We're running bash, imposing presence, martial vigor, running rallying cry. Again, I'm running strategic rallying cry because bash can fortify. Excuse me. Bash can fortify when it hits a stunned enemy, but bosses are only stunned when they're staggered. So you don't get as much fortify from your bash against bosses. So that's why I went with the fortify from strategic. And then I also went fortify from Warcry. This is what I was explaining earlier. My tough as nails is how I'm proccing my bleeds, but I have it on gear, so I didn't have to put a point into outburst or tough as nails. Challenging shout here. You only need the first one for the bonus max life. Dust Devil build, I would recommend using this one. For a Thorns build, obviously run this one, but I'm running neither. I have Thorns in this build, but it's not much. It's just enough to get small mobs off me if I'm in Helltide and I'm trying to open a chest or teleport away. The Thorns will kill that enemy and not disrupt my teleport. So, Booming Voice, Guttural, I think it's Guttural, I don't know. That one. And Raid Leader. I could take 2 points away from this No Mercy and throw it into Raid Leader because I'm no longer running Hamstring. So I was getting my slow from healthy enemies getting slowed. I ran that on my Dust Devils. So I could actually take 2 points of this away, but in the pit it helps on... I'm stunning every single elite pack, or every enemy for that matter, minus the boss, with my Steel Grasp. Slaying Strike here. Running Steel Grasp, this is giving us vulnerability, and it's giving us Berserking. And it's giving us a stun. So that's because of my pants. Steel Grasp stuns for 2 seconds. It does help fill up the stagger bar on bosses. And so does Challenging Shout. The taunt that Challenging Shout does really increases the boss's stagger bars. But after about 3 or 4 staggers on a boss, that bar just pretty much stops moving. So just keep that in mind. Once you get to that 4th stagger, it's going to be very hard to get a 5th stagger out of any boss. At least for me so far. Oh yeah, I have aggressive resistance. I was running swiftness, but because of my melted heart in my boots, I'm at like 160% movement speed, and I was like, you know what, that's fine. So I left the points out of there. You could definitely, even take the points out of No Mercy and put it there if you want to be a little bit quicker. Running counteroffensive. I just switched to Call of the Ancients. I was running Wrath of the Berserker. Obviously having the Unstoppable was huge. Berserking, I'm constantly using my basic, the movement speed. But this was doing nothing for us because we don't spend any resource here. We don't spend Fury to actually increase the damage. This was mainly, I was running this on my Dust Devil build and just switched it straight into my Bash build, but then realized, at least with Call of the Ancients, I'm getting 20% bonus attack speed and 20% multiplicative increased damage, so that was pretty nice for bossing. Got 3 into heavy-handed, 3 into wallop, and just 2 into concussion because I didn't have any more points. You could put 3 here. It's definitely going to help stagger the boss, fill up his stagger bar, or just stun regular enemies. So, and then running unconstrained, the increase to its damage and its duration is huge. Going over my Paragon board in the beginning, I'm taking Exploit. And going up to the Blood Rage board. And you'll see I'm at the 30% cap already. The only damage while berserking I got in my board was here. And I actually don't even need it. I believe I can take these 3 points away and I'm still at 30. Ooh, never mind. Oh, that's right, I changed the ring out. So the reason that I'm at the cap there is just you want to get it on some gear. Like I have it on both my two-handers, damage while berserking right here. And then damage while berserking right here. So if you get to 300%, you'll be at the 30% cap for Blood Rage Glyph. That's right, I had a ring that had it, and then I found this ring, so I was able to replace my old ring that basically I had more damage while berserking than I needed to reach that cap. Once you hit 300%, you'll be capped out. Going back, so I did go to the left first, and the reason, I just wanted to make sure I got as much damage reduction wherever possible. And then I'm putting in Undaunted here. It's very easy to get willpower in this board. And then the legendary node decimator. And from here I went up. Again, I wanted to make sure I got as much damage reduction that I could, which I may redo this board, but for now this is where I put might. This is the flawless technique board. And then I'm grabbing all the critical strike. Then I came out to the right because, again, damage reduction. I wanted to make sure I had the double bonus, as much DR as I could. That's where I'm putting Marshall, because the 125% is going to, affect all these damage reduction. It affects it here too when using might here. So, and I came down to this board. My dexterity's not there. If I get a grandfather, all of my nodes are going to be fine. But for now, picking up some damage reduction while healthy is just a different source of DR. So stacking different DRs is huge. Putting territorial here. And then on this board, this is the Warbringer board. Right now I have Imbiber. I wanted a willpower node because I knew I wanted to grab these resistance to alls. And then I just grabbed some physical damage. I had 3 points left over and it just made the most sense to put them here. And I did want to say, I'm very interested in redoing my entire Paragon board to get this Bonebreaker. Those boss fights last, like I said, probably like a minute, sometimes up to 2 minutes, depending on how high you're pushing. And my regular basic attack, you know, on a crit can hit anywhere from like 30 million to 50 million, but my overpowers, and I don't even have a lot of overpower damage. Oh, I didn't even show, sorry. I'm using Crusher here right now, but so the 20% multiplicative overpower damage here. And when I'm hitting overpowers, they're hitting for like almost 200 million. So if I could get that to proc every 12 seconds, you know, that would be pretty big. And I wouldn't have to use the one that every 20 seconds your next skill does, or even the glyph that every 30 seconds it does. I think that's Dominate. Yeah. But if I did mix them all together, I'd have a consistent overpower proc on my basic attack without having to do things like, if you guys know Rob, he was experimenting with Hammer the Ancients into Violent, and then he's also using Combat Bash. So he crits 4 times with Bash. It guarantees him to get an overpower. He gets the overpower, dealing 30% multiplicative more damage for 5 seconds, and then he's just bashing away after that, which is again gonna proc another overpower. And so it's just like his guaranteed overpower to get a guaranteed 30% more damage, which is very interesting. Something I might consider. But again, the reason I'm running Imbiber, I wanted a willpower up here, and it's also because I have Melted Heart, so it just stacks on top of that damage while healthy. So I was able to get a, you know, big increase in my attack power. Since I'm about to have to use my attack speed one anyways, I can show you real quick what Holy Bolts looks like in here. As I get my Steel Grasps back. There we go. So it melts the mobs that you pull in a whole lot faster. But we will take that back off. Ooh, you know what? Dang. I only have 3 of these. I might have to hold on to those for some Tormented bosses. Who do we have? Bramble? Okay, he doesn't spawn anybody in anyway, so. And Bramble's pretty tanky. Not gonna lie. I do avoid his, the Echo that he summons in. And I try to avoid his, attack where he spits out the poison. You don't have to, but it's good to be cognizant of that attack right there, because if you stand in it for too long and he's summoning his echoes of the other bosses, you know, it can be a lot to take it once, and that can lead to what you think is getting one-shotted, but you're actually getting hit by like 5 things at once. I'd rather lose my intercom for a couple seconds, as opposed, see, now he's summoning 2 in, and he'll do that attack. So you just gotta be aware of, you know, who's getting summoned and what that attack's gonna do. Probably could have tanked that one because he didn't have a boss summoned at the time. Obviously, attack speed would be way more important here than Holy Bolts, because he doesn't summon anybody. As far as like minions that you can kill and get the bolts to proc. He is killing our fortify. So watch out for Lily. We don't like Lily. Go. So 101, we should have gotten 60 Neath Irons. I don't know what that puts me at, if I can even upgrade my Melted Heart. Probably not. Nope. Then guys, I wanted to show you, like, if you wanted to run just Nightmare Dungeons, you can just easily switch from how I have my board set up. You can have it easily switched into a Dust Devil build. Dust Devil is just more for speed farming, and the higher tiers doesn't do as well. But so all I'm doing is I'm leaving, for the purpose of this video, I'm just going to leave everything how I have it, and just show you the things that I actually changed. I changed the gloves. You don't really care about having double swing on your gloves. The bulk of the damage is going to be coming from your Dust Devils. The vulnerability procs from double swing is really all you're worried about against the boss. Because again, bash is what you're going to more than likely switch to for the uber bosses, the tormented versions, or a Thorns build, or a Leap Quake bash variant. So same pants, same boots. So we do put the Fierce Winds on here. We have our damage while berserking, chance for Dust Devils to cast twice. I'm just going to leave this sword on, even though it's bash cleaves. It's fine. Okay, well then I'll swap it for this one actually, because I do want... There we go. I at least want the intercom for the extra 10%. Chance for Dust Devils to cast twice. So my other build, this one has Dust Devil size. So I do have another weapon that I would normally put here with Dust Devil size, but I kind of bricked it, so I don't even pull it out of my stash much anymore. You're going to see that what I'm about to do with the Dust Devils is still just as crazy. And so this ring right here and this ring right here, the aspects on them are doing virtually nothing for us for Dust Devils. You know, I would recommend dropping this and putting Edge Masters on one of these, and then on the other Bold Chieftain's Loop. And we're still using the axe. These are the changes that we make to our actual board here. So because I need some points real quick, I'm just going to pull them out of here and put them back. So you put points into double swing for the vulnerable. We're going to take our Steel Grasp away. That gives us our 6 back for here. Change Strategic for Tactical. Change Mighty to Power. And then change this to Wrath of the Berserker. Once you do it a couple times, you know, it'll come second nature. And then I take off heavy-handed here, putting 1 point into that. And I put 2 into raid leader, or you can also put it into swiftness. We'll just do it for, we'll do swiftness for this run through. And then the way I have my Paragon board set up, pretty easy to swap from Dust Devils, because we're no longer using our two-handed bludgeoning weapon. We get rid of those points, and then we come over here to this board, and we pick up the Fury on kills. And because now we're using a one-handed weapon with double swing, now we're getting crit strike damage with one-handed weapons. Might applies to two-handed weapons. So check this. We take that, we switch it for ambidextrous, and we're still getting damage reduction, damage reduction, damage reduction. You'll see that it has too much strength, technically. And that's because we picked up this node right here. But it's fine. You know, it's only 2 points. And then we're going to swap out Crusher, because we're not really caring about the damage with maces anymore. And this is where we put Twister. And then that's it. That's the only things I change in my board. So the way I have it set up, I don't have to, you know, do a whole lot of reconfiguring. And the good thing about that, since we don't have loadouts yet, you know, you won't have to, you know, you can easily switch between these two builds, basically. Last thing you do is we no longer use Steel Grasp, so we just replace it with Double Swing. That's it. And this is the speed farming, because it'll kill things in the room before you even get there. You can see our Fury on kill, which we have on this weapon as well. 7 Fury on kill. That helps a lot, plus what's in our board. And with Yen's Blessing, I know in the last video I did, I realized that it was kind of hard to hear when there was action going on, so I turned the game down and turned my mic up a little bit. But with Yen's Blessing, sometimes even when you evade, like I just did right there, it'll cast a free shout, cast free Dust Devils. When your Thorns procs, it'll cast free Dust Devils. When you teleport, you can get free Dust Devils, because all these things are giving you a shout. Hell, one time I dropped an item and it gave me Dust Devils. Like literally dropping it, and in the background all of a sudden I saw Dust Devils flying around, and it wasn't because of a Thorns proc, it was literally just because I dropped an item. It casted a free shout, which then casted my Dust Devils. So but yeah, this is a super easy build to play. This is the build that I was playing until I hit level 85 in the pit. And I didn't have everything masterworked. I didn't have, you know, Ring of Star of the Skies. I'm sure if I had that, I could have pushed higher. But at the time, I didn't even have Harlequin Crest. I just had my Melted Heart. Just wasn't doing enough boss damage. You know, Dust Devils like to go everywhere. You know, only the double swing Dust Devils go straight forward. But even then, a lot of times the boss stands in the middle, and those Dust Devils go straight through to the wall, so they only hit them like 1 or 2 procs. If you get them pinned up against the wall, then you can really lay into them with the Dust Devils. But it was just too much situational positioning for me to get max damage with these Dust Devils. And again, you can get even higher numbers. I have a weapon that doesn't even have the increased damage or the increased size, which results in increased damage. You want to be at 100% on your Dust Devils. I think right now, Dust Devil size, so I'm at 92.9. You want to get that to 100%. This is a fun build. I will say I was very happy with Dust Devils this season. They did their job. They got me to 100. They helped me speed farm. And I was able to kill Duriel, you know, get my Uber. But it wasn't until I switched to Bash that I was able to start killing the Tormented bosses and push higher than Pit 85. So, like I said, it served its purpose. You see how those Dust Devils are just going straight through them? If I were to back up and kind of hit them, or position myself where it bounces against walls, you know, it's just too situational when it comes to the pit. Absolutely shreds every other content in the game, minus the Tormented bosses in the pit. At least my version. You know, I want to reiterate that I never got a Ring of Starless Skies to test it with that. I would love to test it with Grandfather, but I work with what I got. See, like right here, the Dust Devils are going past him, but if I can get those Dust Devils to bounce off that pillar, then they're going to do a lot more damage, because they're going to... Oh, he got me. And if I'm right on top of him with the double swing, the Dust Devils really don't hit him. So again, this just comes down to positioning. And with Bash, you don't have to worry about positioning. Your positioning is just get in his face and bash him to death. I don't even know what to level up anymore. I tried Wrath. Rumbles for when and if I switch to a, or if and when I switch to a Leap Quake build. Crushers in my other variant. Dominate, I'm just still thinking about. Mights in my other variant. So, again, and then to switch back to a Bash build, I put all these on. So 4 items of gear, and then we switch everything back to Fortify. Pull all these points out of Double Swing. It's gonna make us put points in up here anyway, so let's do that. Alright. We pull that point out of Tactical. We go into there, and then I would take those out. That. So that's our skill tree. Back to how we had it. Just a couple things you got to, you know, move around. And then our Paragon board, the magic number was 11. Boom, there's our 11. We swap out the glyphs. Ambidextrous for might. See, now you see I'm only at 40. So even though I put this one on and I'm 10 over, which is useless for the first part of the glyph, doesn't really matter. You know, this is a more efficient way. Right here we're gonna boom, and then we take out Twister and we put Crusher. And then that's it. Excuse me, one more thing. We change the skill because we're not using double swing anymore.